Hey everyone, and welcome back to Misadventures of Lore Silver. So, we are now interrogating people. We just finished with Miss Blanca. 2 and 9:30 a.m. Mr. Chalupnik. Mr. Chalupnik, what were you doing at 2 a.m.? I was at the reception desk the whole night. Did you notice anything suspicious? Nothing concerning what happened last night, but I had to lock the boiler room's doors. The boiler room? Oh, no. The water must have started flowing for a brief period in the night. The pipes couldn't handle the pressure. It is not something that should concern you. It happens frequently in the winter. Last year, the lobby flooded several times because of it. It's a good thing we installed the metal door. At least it keeps the water inside. Dude, with all that water damage, that's going to be a lot of money to spend. When was the last time you saw Scott? Probably that night. Last night, he came to greet you both. What is your room number? I have my own room on the ground floor. So he stays near the entrance. Who do you think might have done it? You think I did it? I won't say a thing before we find any evidence. I'm sure that Miss Silver didn't do it. Why? Do you spend the night together? No. You can't be sure, people. You should choose who to trust wisely. Thank you. Willem, what were you doing at 2 a.m.? Miss Blanca, did you murder Zivian Scotta? Oh no, how could I? Do you think Mr. Chalupnik did it? No. You think me or Cooper did it? I think you are both kind people. Kindness doesn't bring innocence with it. I also assume you aren't blaming Pavla or Yuri. Of course not. I whisper in her ear. I also think the Vodnik is the culprit. However, we have to evaluate the facts first. I have to check that everyone's accounts are consistent. I just thought we should leave Willem out of this. I can see why you want that, Miss Blanca, but there's a chance that he is the murderer. I don't want to ignore that. She nods. I understand, Miss Silver. She steps back, observing us from a distance. Willem. What is it? Willem, what were you doing at 2 a.m. this morning? 2 a.m.? I'm pretty sure I was asleep. When was the last time you saw Zivian? He stays silent. Do you mean his corpse or alive? Yesterday afternoon. His room is right next door. Let's see about that. Where do you sleep, Willem? But that's not true. Right after you woke up. I went downstairs and had a talk with Mr. Chalupnik before going into the dining room. When do you wake up? 7. I I have to serve breakfast at 8:30 a.m. When the hotel is in off-season, I wake up at 6. So, you were in your room between 2 and 7? Yes. Can you confirm that you've talked with Mr. Villain this morning? I can. We talked about the weather. And how we always talk about the weather every morning. Villain smiles. It feels so distant now. Like it happened months ago. What was he doing? Taking a stroll in the hotel. Who do you think might have done it? Oh, music stopped. I am not the person you need to ask. Pardon me? I don't want to blame the guest, but I'm almost sure that it was you. And why is that? Isn't it obvious? The man dies the night you come here? He's got a point. I don't have an alibi either. I'm the perfect suspect. I also know that you're hiding your real job from us. One would think that you would reveal it to get rid of the suspicion. One would also think that being a detective doesn't get rid of any suspicion. Seems like my snark isn't appreciated. Too bad. So, tell me how I did it. You may have somehow stolen my keys, or picked his lock, or slipped in from the balcony. The balcony? The lock was broken, remember? No. I never checked the balcony door. Requested a different route. How did you know? When was the lock broken? You got in from the balcony. Vivian was taking a shower at the time, so... And then... Do you think Vivian died from a broken nose? I don't know. Did you strangle him? I may have drowned him too. We found him in the tub. It's sort of obvious. What sort of game is this, Silver? You have a point. Excuse me? You see, I hadn't considered the balcony as an entrance to his room. You're an extraordinary detective, I must say. Entering from the balcony, lockpicking, stealing. You said that I could have taken your keys. You have Scotta's room keys. I gave them to you when you were about to shoot his door, though. It happened a few minutes ago, Silver. Right. You're the only one who has his spare keys, right? Yes. At least I was supposed to be the only one. That's good to know. Now you think I'm the culprit? No. At least not yet. What do you mean? It's still a bit too early to be pointing fingers. He huffs. I need to ask Cooper what he thinks about all of this. Cooper. Yes, Miss Silver? What do you think? Oh, I don't know. I don't think that Mr. Villain is in a healthy state of mind right now. Also, I'm wondering about what Mr. Chalupnik will say about... I wasn't asking about the well-being of the hotel folk. Who do you think killed Scotta? I assume that it's most likely the Vodnik, Miss Silver. Oof. He's not paying attention. How? He may have drowned Scotta in the tub. Yeah, but the way he was laying in the tub, you just don't like drown like that. Right? I don't know. You have a point, but I don't think the culprit is the Vodnik. It's quite obvious that Scotta was drowned, though. And then that makes the culprit one of us. Can we talk about our clues, Miss Silver? I think we can reach somewhere with them. Sure. The full tub. The broken lock of the balcony door. The dent on the bathroom door. Also, Scotta's broken nose. The wet trench coat. What would you want to start with? The full tub. You closed the valves yesterday and we checked it. That means someone must have entered the boiler room to open the valves back again. Walls were thin. People might have heard us. Lupnik's ears aren't all that well, but he might have seen you entering the boiler room. I made sure I was in his blind spot, Miss Silver. He's surprisingly sneaky, considering his orange attire. Believe it. Okay then. The culprit killed Scotta in his tub, drowning him. However, the water is still off, Miss Silver. Then we can assume the killer went back to the boiler room, smashed some of the pipes. Because, well, the boiler room is underwater. But if the culprit was to smash the pipes, like you said, they would be all wet. That's right. Imagine Chalupnik destroying the pipes is unexpectedly fitting and also quite amusing. Let's talk about other clues. What about Scotta's broken nose? Corpse, so I can't offer any insight. It was broken, that's all. What do you think about it? It's a possibility. He might have hit his nose on a solid surface while he was struggling against the culprit too. Like I said before, the bathroom door. To have his head smashed against the door so hard creates a dent and leave with only a broken nose. Quite a sturdy head, Scotta. The doors of the bathrooms open outwards too. How could that have happened? Doesn't sound a bit off. Let's say the killer entered the room. How would they enter the bathroom? If the killer entered the room, Mr. Scotta would be awakened. Good point. After seeing Scotta awake, he might have panicked, entered the bathroom, coerced the culprit out of the bathroom. The culprit then might have used the outward opening door to hurt him, so they broke Scotta's nose with the door. Quite nice. Shall we think of other clues, Miss Silver? Let's talk about the balcony door. Okay, but... God, what was Scotta's room number? 103? We were, I think, 102. And our flower pot fell. So did someone climb up? I don't think climb up, but I think someone was using the balconies to get over. If he was an avid smoker, that means he would have already have noticed the issue. If he noticed the issue, he would have immediately tell Mr. Chalupnik to get it fixed, or he would want to get his room changed. This means the lock must have broken very recently. Why do you think, Miss Silver? The killer might have entered from the balcony or got out. The balcony door only locks from the inside. The culprit might have easily unlocked the balcony door to leave. There's no need to break it. Miss Silver, you were staying right next to Miss Viscata. Did you hear anything? Wait. Actually, this morning. The flower pot in my balcony fell down. I woke up by the sound of it. There was no one to be found. No, that can't be. My balcony was simply a step to reach Scotta's room. The killer got out of the room next to me. They jumped to my room, then to Scotta's afterwards. This makes sense. If Mr. Villain was able to obtain the spare keys for Mr. Scotta's room, it would be possible for them to get the room 101's keys too. Exactly. When did you wake up, Miss Silver? 8:30, when I heard the noise coming from the balcony. We went downstairs to meet with Mr. Chalupnik around 8:40. Then Mr. Villain and Miss Blanca arrived around 9 o'clock. Then it's more likely that the culprit was getting out when they dropped my pot. However, it is all right to assume that the pot might have fallen because of the wind too. It can't be, Miss Silver. They're quite heavy. And it wasn't windy last night. This means the culprit used the balcony of room 101, then jumped to yours. They used the same route to return. But of course, they dropped my pot in this moment. Need for them to break. Oh, sorry. There's no need for them to break the balcony's lock if they were going to enter from the door. I see. So can we assume Mr. Villain isn't a suspect? Why? Is it because he has the spare keys? Yes, Miss Silver. Wouldn't he enter from the door if he had them in the first place? Maybe his aim was to frame another hotel worker for the murder. So he broke the lock of the balcony door to make us believe someone else entered the room. What? Then why would he leave the room from the balcony? He would use the regular door. That's true. So Mr. Villain can't be the culprit. Mr. Chalupnik and Miss Blanca then. They're kids. Good thinking. They have short legs that they can't perform balcony hopping. I didn't mean it like that, but I think that's a more logical approach, Miss Silver. And there's still the Vodnik possibility. And last but not least, we have the wet trench coat. While they were drowning Scotta, the culprit wore his trench coat in order to not get wet. That would explain the whole issue about the wet trench coat. It's too big to wear it. So it's Miss Blanca or the Vodnik. What I can't understand is, if Miss Blanca wanted to kill Scotta, why wouldn't she pick an easier route? Why the balconies? Why the tub? Maybe she was trying to frame the Vodnik. After all, looks like the Vodnik did it at first glance. Flowed through the pipes to get rid of the person who was investigating him. Mr. Scotta's nose might just be an accident in the culprit's plan. Alright everyone, well, this is about all the time we have left for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!